Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to another hump day, and we're glad to have all of you with us. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Wednesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Dr. Bhagy Navalkele discussing the importance of vaccinations, even with COVID-19 cases waning. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Wednesday headlines. In national news, Biden announces sanctions against Russian oligarchs and banks. President Joe Biden ordered heavy U.S. financial sanctions against Russian banks and oligarchs on Tuesday, stepping up the West's confrontation with Moscow, even as the Russian lawmakers authorized President Vladimir Putin to use military force outside their country. Biden, in a brief address from the White House, accused Putin of flagrantly violating international law in what he called the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine, and promised that more sanctions will be coming if Putin proceeds further. The president joined the 27 European Union members who unanimously agreed on Tuesday to levy their own initial set of sanctions targeting Russian officials over their actions in Ukraine. Germany also announced it was halting the process of certifying the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline from Russia, a lucrative deal long sought by Moscow but criticized by the U.S. for increasing Europe's reliance on Russian energy. None of us will be fooled by Putin's claims about Ukraine, the U.S. president said. Biden said he was also moving additional U.S. troops to the Baltic states on NATO's eastern flank bordering Russia. The Prime Minister of Estonia made a direct plea to Vice President Kamala Harris for the U.S. to step up its presence in the Baltics. Biden said the U.S. would impose full blocking on two large Russian financial institutions and comprehensive sanctions on Russian debt. That meant we've cut off Russia's government from Western finance, Biden said on Tuesday. It can no longer raise money from the West and cannot trade in its new debt on our markets or European markets either. The president announced what he called a first group of sanctions as Russian troops rolled into rebel-held areas in eastern Ukraine after Putin said he was recognizing the area's independence on Monday. It was unclear how large the Russian deployment was, and Ukraine and its Western allies have long said Russian troops were already fighting in the region, allegations that Moscow always denied. Shortly after, Putin laid out three conditions to end the crisis that has threatened to plunge Europe back into war, raising the specter of massive casualties, energy shortages around the continent, and economic chaos around the globe. Putin said the crisis could be resolved if Kyiv recognizes Russia's sovereignty over Crimea, the Black Sea Peninsula that Moscow annexed from Ukraine in 2014, renounces its bid to join NATO, and partially demilitarizes. The West has decried the annexation of Crimea as a violation of international law and has previously flatly rejected permanently barring Ukraine from NATO. In more national news, Arbery killers convicted of federal hate crimes in his death. The three white men convicted of murder in Ahmaud Arbery's shooting were found guilty on federal hate crimes charges Tuesday in a verdict that affirmed what family members and civil rights activists said all along, that he was chased down and killed because he was black. The verdict, handed down one day before the second anniversary of Arbery's death on February 23, 2020, was symbolic, coming just months after all three defendants were convicted of murder in a Georgia state court and sentenced to life in prison. But family and community members viewed the hate crimes trial as an important statement. The case also became part of a larger national reckoning on racial injustice after graphic video of Arbery's killing leaked online. In more national news, Mississippi HBCU gets $10 million from Netflix CEO and wife. A private historically black college in Mississippi is getting $10 million from the head of Netflix and his wife, a film producer. Netflix CEO Reed Hastings visited Tougaloo College on Monday to talk about the donation from himself and his wife, news outlets are reporting. And finally, in entertainment news, Wendy Williams' show ending, new Sherri Shepherd show ahead. The Wendy Williams show will end because of Williams' prolonged health-related absence and will be replaced this fall with a show hosted by Sherri Shepherd, the producer of both TV programs, said on Tuesday. The new daytime show, crisply titled Sherri, will inherit the time slots on Fox-owned and operated stations that have been the backbone of Williams' national syndicated talk show since 2008. Since Wendy is still not available to host the show as she continues on her road to recovery, we believe it is best for our fans, stations, and advertising partners to start making this transition now, the company co-president said in a statement. We hope to be able to work with Wendy again in the future and continue to wish her a speedy and full recovery, the executive said. OMG, I am so excited to have my dream come true and debut my very own talk show in New York, anchor comedian Shepard, a former co-host of The View, said in a statement. Sherry will combine her love of pop culture, talk, entertainment, and comedy. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Mistakes are learning experiences. How many times have you heard someone say, I don't want to make a mistake? This behavior gives someone else power over your choices. You might end up missing out on a fun activity, experience, or even an opportunity for friendship. Most people, in truth, are not afraid of mistakes because all of us make them every day. You are actually looking for someone else to blame in case it is an incorrect choice. Your ego always tries to make you right. Personally, I would rather make a mistake than miss out completely. Today, make a resolution to always learn from your mistakes because mistakes are one of the most valuable tools you can have at your disposal. You learn from them. And as always, enjoy the day.
Dr. Bhagy Navalkele is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Dr. Bhagy Navalkele joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the importance of vaccinations. And even if you've had COVID-19, why it's important to get vaccinated. Here's a bit of our conversation. Dr. Navalkele, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus.
I'm excited about this. I'm on the radio side here in Mississippi, where we have definitely also seen a decrease in cases. With so many cases decreasing, Dr. Navalkele, is it still important for individuals out there to get vaccinated?
Absolutely. That is a common question which we get from our patients and from the community as well. So thankfully, we are seeing that COVID-19 cases are declining, but the case numbers are still pretty high. And so far, from 2 years of our pandemic experience, what we have seen is that unvaccinated population still remains at very high risk of having infection, actually 5 times more than vaccinated population. Unvaccinated people are 16 times more likely to get hospitalized, and unvaccinated people are 68 times more likely to die as compared to those who are vaccinated and boosted. What we have seen is that COVID-19 infection has been very unpredictable. So if you are unvaccinated, no matter what your age is or no matter what your health status is, you can get severe infection, hospitalization, and you could even die from COVID-19. So it comes down to vaccination, that it's very important that you get vaccination so that you can protect yourself against the worst outcomes from COVID-19. We are still not out of this pandemic. Hopefully we will soon be. And vaccination is the best way for us to protect ourselves as well as our community.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversation Daily News, but we'll have to get on tomorrow's more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.